Hello students. In our last class I have discussed about the GOT, means Great Orthogonality Theorem, and the 5 important rules which are actually derived from the Great Orthogonality Theorem. And by using these 5 rules we have constructed the irreducible representation for C2V and C3V character table. So now in this class I just want to discuss at first the character table. So what is the character table? So for this, just you look this picture, so that is actually the character table. I have divided our character table into 6 regions. I have just written these in Roman letters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can see these are the regions of the character table, and at the below left bottom I have written the Bethe notation RR. So that is the reducible representation by taking the base 3n coordinates. So at first I want to say what are these 6 regions which I have shown in the character table. First, that is our number 1 region. At the number 1 region we have to write the point group. Means, for example, I can write C2V or C3V, whatever the group will be. So C2V or C3V or like D infinity H, C infinity H, D3H, like that. Next, at the number 2 position, at the Roman 2 region, there I have to write the symmetry elements. So at number 1 we have to write the point group. At number 2 I have to write suppose for C2V we have to write E C2Z, sigma xz and sigma yz. So that is at number 2 position. So that is our symmetry elements. At number 3 position, we have to write the Mulliken symbols of irreducible representations. At number 3 we have to write the Mulliken symbols of the irreducible representation. So at the left I have written Bethe notation 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. If I take the example of the C2V point group. So these are the irreducible representation, and now in the character table we have to write the Mulliken symbols of the irreducible representations. I will just explain what are the Mulliken symbols for the irreducible representations in this class also. Now I am just going to the region number 4. At region number 4 we have to write the characters of the irreducible representations. At number 4 we have to write characters of irreducible representations. These characters I have already discussed in our last class by using the 5 important rules which were derived from the Great Orthogonality Theorem. Okay. So to check these, if you didn't see the last class, you can go to the last class and see the video. Okay. Next I am going to the next region, that is our number 5. This is our number 5, and just after that the number 6 is also there. So at number 5 we have to write the translational axis. The translational axis for any type of the molecule, that should be x, y or z, like that. And I have to write the rotational axis, that is rx, ry, rz. So these things you have to remember to construct the character table. Next, at number 6, that is the quadratic functions. The quadratic functions of x, y, z. So like that, x, y, y, z, x square, y square, z square, x, y, z, like that. So these are the quadratic functions of x, y, z coordinate. Okay, so to summarize the character table, I am just saying again, that is at number 1 I have to write the point group, at number 2 we have to write the symmetry elements, at number 3 we have to write the Mulliken symbols of the irreducible representation, at number 4 region we have to write the characters of the irreducible representation, at number 5 we have to write the translational and the rotational axes, and at number 6 region we have to write the quadratic functions of xyz, and at below, that is the below portion, that is our below portion, at the below portion we have to write the reducible representation with respect to the 3n coordinates. These things also we have discussed in our last class. Okay, so by applying the xyz coordinate and by applying the 3n coordinate, we have derived the reducible representation. But in your character table, you have to write the reducible representation with respect to the 3n coordinates, not in the x, y, z coordinate. Okay. So this is our character table. So in this way we can construct our character table for any type of the point group. But in your syllabus mainly two types of point groups are there. So that is, one is the C2V and another one is the C3V point group. Now at number 3 region we have to write the irreducible representations, but obviously that should be in the Mulliken symbol form. Okay, so now I just want to discuss about the Mulliken symbols. For the Mulliken symbols, just see the point number 1, that is all one dimensional representations are designated either A or B, and 2D representations are always designated by E, and 3D representations are designated as T. So if I have the one dimensional representations, then I have to write the A or B, that is our A or B, or if I have the 2D representation, I have to write E, and if I have 3D representation, we have to write T. Okay, so 1D के लिए A और B, 2D के लिए E, and 3D के लिए T. That actually comes from E. E mainly कहाँ से आया? E आया है from N, En. इसका मतलब है 2, और 3D जो आ रहा है, जो हम लोग T लिख रहे हैं, that actually comes from the tri means 3, इसलिए capital T. Next is our number 2 point. Remember, this one is very important, that is 1D representation that are symmetric with respect to rotation by 2 pi by n about the principal Cn axis. Again I am repeating, that is 1D representation that are symmetric with respect to rotation by 180 degree divided by n, that is actually our Cn axis. So if the chi of Cn, that means the character of the Cn, that is 1, then are designated by A. Okay, while those antisymmetric means if the character for the Cn axis, if this is -1, then it should be B, capital B. Okay, so for 1D representation I have to write A or B, 2D के लिए E, 3D के लिए T. नाउ जब मैं A और B लिख रहा हूँ, कब A होगा और कब B होगा? A कब होगा? अगर कैरेक्टर ऑफ Cn axis that is equal to 1, then we have to write A, and if the character for the Cn that is -1, then we have to write B. Okay, so for this one I am just showing the example of our C2V character table. So this is our C2V character table. In the C2V character table, I have written above, that is the symmetry operation, that is E, C to Z, sigma xz and sigma yz. You just look the C to Z, okay, and also you look at E. With respect to the E, the Bethe notation 1 to 4, I have written all are 1. So that is our one dimensional characters are there. That's why we have to write A or B. Now where I will write A and where I will write B. For this one, just you check that with respect to the C2Z, if C2Z is 1, then I have to write A, and if C2Z is B, then if C2Z is -1, then we have to write B. So you just look A1 and A2. In case of A1 and A2, the C2Z is 1, means +1, and in case of the Mulliken symbol B, you just look the C2Z, that is -1. Is it clear? I think so. If the C2Z is +1, then we have to write A, and if the C2Z is -1, then we have to write the B. Okay. Next, I'm going to the number 3, where you guys just see that I have written A1, A2, B1, B2. Why? So where the 1 and 2 comes from? That is subscripts A and 2 means subscripts 1 and 2 are usually designate the symmetry and antisymmetry with respect to a C2 perpendicular to the principal axis, or if such a C2 axis is lacking to a vertical plane of symmetry. Okay. So again, I am just repeating that subscripts 1 and 2 are usually designate the symmetry and antisymmetry with respect to a C2 perpendicular to the principal axis. In case of C2V, if I will check, then there is no axis which is perpendicular to the principal axis of C2. और if such a C2 axis is lacking, अगर ऐसा C2 axis मेरे पास नहीं है to a vertical plane of symmetry, तो मैं और एक बार समझा देता हूँ। ये 1 और 2 मुझे कब लिखना है, ये मेनली सिमेट्री और एंटीसिमेट्री के लिए लिखना पड़ता है। सिमेट्री होगा तो 1, एंटीसिमेट्री होगा तो 2। सिमेट्री और एंटीसिमेट्री विथ रेस्पेक्ट टू होम, विथ रेस्पेक्ट टू अ C2 perpendicular to the principal axis. In case of C2V, there is no C2 which is perpendicular to the principal axis, but in C2 there is sigma xz and sigma yz. Okay, so the sigma xz and sigma yz is there. So with respect to that sigma plane, that the vertical plane of symmetry, we have to write 1 and 2. Now just look the character table here. You just look the sigma xz. Okay, you just look the sigma xz. I have already said that the sigma xz is the molecular plane of C2V point group. If I will take the example of the water molecule, so I have written A1 where sigma xz is 1, and I have written A2 where sigma xz is -1. Similarly, in case of B, I have written B1 where sigma xz is +1, and I have written B2 where the sigma xz is -1. Okay, so first of all, what I have to check, that is, if the all values of E that is 1, then obviously A or B I have to write. Then I have to look the C2Z. If the +1 is there in case of C2Z, then we have to write A, and the -1 is there in case of C2Z, then we have to write B. Next, I have to follow the sigma xz. In case of sigma xz, if the positive sign is there, then you have to write 1, and if the -1 is there, then you have to write 2. So that is the reason of A1, A2, B1 and B2. So these are the Mulliken symbols of the irreducible representations in case of the C2V point group. Okay. I'm just coming to the point number 4. Primes and double primes. Primes and double primes. I think you guys know about the primes and double primes. So these are the primes and double primes are using when symmetry and antisymmetry with respect to the sigma h. Means if I have a plane which is known as the sigma h, means sigma horizontal, with respect to the sigma h, if the molecule is symmetric, then we have to write prime, and if that is antisymmetric, we have to write the double prime. Okay. Next, I am going to just point number 5. In groups with a center of inversion, in groups with a center of inversion means that is our inversion center, that is the small I, center of inversion, the subscript G, that is Girardet, meaning even. Okay, Girardet means even. Subscript G is attached with, which are symmetric with respect to the inversion, and the subscript U, that is ungirardet, means uneven, is used for those which are antisymmetric to the inversion. So these things you have already seen. In case of the octahedron crystal field splitting, we are writing T2G and EG. Okay. So that G actually comes from the Girardet, which means that even. So in case of octahedral, the molecule is symmetric. So for that reason, we are writing G. But in case of tetrahedral, just we are writing T2 and E. Why? Because there is no symmetry. You can check the structure of the tetrahedral. All the angles are 109 degree and 28 minutes. So there is lack of symmetry. So that's why we are not writing any type of the G or U anything. But if the symmetry is there with respect to the inversion in the complex of octahedron, the inversion center is there. Okay, just middle of the four equatorial bonds means where the metal center is there, that is the inversion point. So with that inversion point, with respect to that inversion point, all the 6 molecules that are symmetric, that's why we are writing the G. Okay, I think it's clear. So G and U, so that is actually for the symmetry with respect to the inversion and antisymmetry with respect to the inversion. So in case of the tetrahedron, there is no inversion center, that's why there is no way to write the G or U. Okay, but in case of octahedron, there is symmetry point, that is the inversion center is there, that's why we are writing the G. And if with respect to that inversion center the molecule is antisymmetric, then you have to write U. Otherwise, if the symmetry is there with respect to the inversion, we have to write G. Okay, so that is very, very important. The Mulliken symbols, that is very, very important for your inorganic chemistry portions. Means if you read the coordination chemistry, in the coordination chemistry, the Mulliken symbols are very, very important. You can see that A, B, E, T, so many letters are written there with subscript 1 or 2, with the superscript prime or double prime, or with the subscript G or U. So that is the reason which actually comes from the group theory, and group theory tells about the main idea of the Mulliken symbols. Okay, so that is very, very important. So this is all about our character table. I have said all of these things about the character tables. Means first, number 1 we have to write the point group, then number 2 we have to write the symmetry elements. Next, at the left, at the region 3, we have to write the irreducible representations in terms of the Mulliken symbol. In the 4th region, that is the number 4 region, we have to write the characters of the irreducible representations. In the 5 region, we have to write the translational and the rotational elements, and number 6 region, we have to write the quadratic functions. And at below, that is we have make a circle here, and I have written that is these are the reducible representation with respect to the 3n coordinates. So that is the 3n coordinates to respect me, we have to write the reducible representations. Then I have discussed the Mulliken symbols. Next I am going to the C2V character table. So I have already discussed about these things. In case of C2V character table, the symmetry elements, the symmetry element, that is E, C2Z, sigma xz and sigma yz, the molecular plane is xz, the class is 4, the order is 4, and then I am just going to the character table. This is the character table in case of the C2V, where E, C2Z, sigma xz, sigma yz we have to write it above. At the left we have to write A1, A2, B1, B2. I have already said why we are writing A1, A2, B1 and B2. Then at below I have written the reducible representation in terms of the 3 and coordinate, that is 9, -1, 3 and +1. Then at region number 5 and region number 6, you just check, I have written Z, RZ, X, RY, YRX. So that you have to remember. So these are the translational modes and the rotational modes. And at the region number 6, we have written the quadratic functions, that is x square, y square, z square, x, y, x, z, y, z, like that. Okay, so this is the total character table in case of our C2V point group. Now, how can we represent the irreducible representations which are present in the reducible representation? Okay, that is also very, very important. So for this, just you look, I have written NA1 is equal to 1 by 4. Why I have written 1 by 4? Because the order is 4. In case of C2V, the order is 4. So that's why I have written 1 by 4. Then I have given third bracket. Then I have written the first reducible representation, that is 9 into 1, that is NA1. I have the 1 is there, into 1, that is for E. So 9 into 1 into 1 plus, again I am taking the reducible representation, that is our -1 into, in case of A1, the C2Z is 1, and in C2Z the 1 is there, because 2 C2Z, 3 C2Z is not there. So the second term should be -1 into 1 into 1, and the third term, that is 3 into 1 into 1, because 3 comes from the reducible representation with respect to the sigma xz. Then with respect to the A1, with respect to the sigma xz also, the number is 1, and in case of sigma xz there is no 2, 3, nothing is there, only 1 is there. So 3 into 1 into 1, and at last the reducible representation is 1. In case of A1 and sigma yz, the character is 1, and for sigma yz that is 1. Okay, so that's why you can check, I have written 1 by 4. In case of NA1, I have written 1 by 4 into 9 into 1 into 1 plus -1 into 1 into 1 plus 3 into 1 plus 1 into 1 into 1, and after these I have written 3. In a similar way, you can write NA2. In case of NA2, what we have to write? In case of NA2, first we have to write, in case of NA2, what we have to write? 9 into 1 into 1 plus -1 into 1 into 1, because the reducible representation is -1, and the character with respect to C2Z and A2, that is 1, and in case of C2Z we have to write 1. So -1 into 1 into 1, then plus 3 into -1 into 1, so that is for the sigma xz, the reducible representation is 3. For A2 and sigma xz, the character is -1, and for sigma xz that is 1. So that is our 3 into -1 into 1, and at last that is 1 into -1 into 1. Okay, so that is our NA2, and finally we got, in case of NA2, if you check, that is our NA2, that is our NA2. Okay, so that is our 1. Okay, next I am going to the NB1. In case of NB1, what we have to write? That is 9 into 1 into 1 plus -1 into -1 into 1 plus 3 into 3 into 1 into 1 plus 1 into -1 into 1. Okay, so in case of NB1, you just look that I have written here the number third, that is 9 into 1 into 1 -1 -1 1 3 1 1 plus 1 minus 1 into 1, and that is equal to 3. Okay. Next, in case of NB2, what we have to write? In case of NB2, we have to write 1 by 4 into 9 into 1 into 1 plus minus 1 into minus 1 into 1 plus 3 into minus 1 into 1 plus 1 into 1 into 1. So that is our NB2. Just check, I have written in case of the NB2 1 by 4 and 9 into 1 into 1 minus 1 minus 1 1 3 minus 1 1 into 1 1 1. So that is our 2. So that is a very important, because I have written the different irreducible representations present in the reducible representation. So that is actually the total reducible representation, that is our Bethe notation 3n, that is the Bethe notation reducible representation in terms of the 3n coordinate, that is equal to 3 into a1, because in case of n1 the number is 3. So 3 into a1 plus 1 into a2 plus 3 into b1 plus 2 into b2. Okay, so in total, just you can check that I have written in case of the C2V point group, the reducible representations in terms of the irreducible representations like that, that is Bethe notation 3n is equal to 3a1 plus a2 plus 3b1 plus 2b2. So in this way we can correlate the reducible representation and irreducible representations very easily. So that is a very easy mathematical process. Just you have to write 1 by order into, you have to sum up the reducible representation into the character of different irreducible representation into the coefficients of the symmetry elements, and you have to sum all these things, and then you will get ultimately the different irreducible representations which are present in the reducible representation. Okay. So for today's class, I am just finished it here. In our next class, I will discuss the remaining part of the C2V character table and the C3V character table, and that would be our last class of the group theory. Thank you.